and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. Hello there, beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to this video topic where I wish to talk more about my course, Multidimensional Ascension, which just came out, and as well as some of the natures of our human psyche and how we connect to that which for us is perceived as cosmic, as universal, as galactic, as stellar, planetary, personal, all of those levels. So as I was going through so much of my divine remembrance, becoming aware of my galactic nature, and kind of like, when my light family first made that contact, which was more conscious, and that was in a very vivid dream when these light beings came, and they, there was a being that felt more feminine in terms of energy, but they were light beings, and she was kind of stroking my face at the cheek at this side, and they kept repeating to me, it was something that was very profound, and they kept telling me, never forget that you're a princess, never forget that you're a princess. And then they were showing me all these visions and things, and as I woke up I had this homecoming feeling, at the same time this longing to remember more about this dream and to merge more deeply with who I am. And basically after that dream, and after moving here to these Alps, this journey of more of the galactic nature of mine, of my different cosmic lineage, so my elven lineage, my galactic lineage, my angelic lineage, all of that started to, on a soul level, come. But it came through memories which are more, these are subtle realms kind of knowings. They're not necessarily what many people refer to as past lifetimes or incarnations at different levels, because when it comes from the purest level, when you actually distill that wisdom, that sometimes we call the wisdom that is all written in the Akashic Realms, so the realms that we call the Akashic Planes, which is all wisdom, all written through, transcribed through love, and basically nothing for the soul is kept alive if it's not in the end distilled through love into wisdom. So when we have those memories streaming forth and coming forth, there will be so many questions coming at us. And, first question, always so vivid amongst all of us, is who are we? What are we doing here? And how is Earth connected to something that's happening on a greater stellar level and interstellar level and then galactic level? And then how are all of these beautiful galaxies enmeshed together? How is everything intertwined? And sometimes we want to get way ahead of ourselves, and I've been talking a lot about this, that we need to zoom in before we can zoom out, and that the wisdom that is the wisdom of the entire universe can be held and stored within us, within our own light DNA, because basically we're cosmic libraries ourselves. But when I'm talking to other people, beautiful beings that I like to call essential pioneers, either they're voluntary souls, either they are souls who are really starting to wake up to their purpose, that they're beginning to more engage with the path of light working, as sometimes people call it. And these beautiful souls, these beings, all have this innate encoded memory within themselves to continue asking themselves this question. But I want to talk about something very specific here. When we start asking ourselves this question, it's very important that we continue to ask it to ourselves, because I've witnessed many times people who become so entrenched in this, longing to know more of themselves, that they will perceive all kinds of information on the outside. They will want to pursue Akashic readers, channelers, people who will give them various spirit information about who they are as a being, and everyone was there at a certain specific pivotal point in their journey. But the difference is between the knowledge that we can take and integrate, though actually those soul codes come to us when we're going to use them. For example, you connect with a part of you that knows how to paint. Or, when I started this journey, it was just gifts, random soul gifts, but they didn't feel random to me. At the time when I just started doing something, it felt random, but then it got deeper and deeper. And each code unveiled a new code, and then the new and the new and the next. So this is basically how, within those layers of the onion that we are all in constitution of, Basically, we're revealing more of ourselves to the self. And this will be experienced on a human level. The human integration is so very important. And because I see so many people are still asking themselves this question and they don't know how to align their personal timeline and focus on what is really pivotal and important for them in this timeline, in this journey where they are now, and how they're choosing their soul ascension in this lifetime, they don't always know how to assimilated with various timelines that are happening simultaneously on our planet, as well as the bigger cosmic perspectives that are presented to us from different materials. And when I see everything, I see it as in terms of I receive the guidance that comes, that is important right here now. Because spirit is always that distilled wisdom that speaks through us, through the merged androgynous nature of our cosmic masculine and feminine essence. And that is how I receive all this guidance. And the reason why I was going through these journeys of preparatory initiations was to better help those beautiful beings to understand themselves from the perspective of the self rather than seeking everything on the outside. So as I was going through this journey, and I created this beautiful cosmic convergence package of 5 video series, which is available at the minimum energy exchange that I could possibly gather up with. And these courses all take you to many different creation principles and different topics, and for those awakening beings that want to know more. And basically they're just codes of remembrance. They're not teachings that will be very rough. But then, later I pursued also the galactic signature, and I started to develop how we can decode ourselves through the basic understanding of who we are, our own star map, our star signature of our natal chart, and astrology as well. But my approach was never just through astrology, is looking at different things and compiling it together, but also seeing how that is reflected and always was reflected in that part of you which it is infinite, but it's that core. It's the degree of the purpose of that is to serve us, to unveil all those levels, to come to the core. So the core is that level of us which is beyond different realms and different experiences. Is just that which always stays, that which is the uniqueness of us when we fragmented and became all these different unique parts of source. So as I was going deeper, I felt the journey is still not complete. And then Spirit showed me that I will also create a course called Multidimensional Ascension and kind of filter through the cosmic perspective and assimilate it together with the human perspective, and why at this time it's so important for those of us ascending on Earth and choosing this timeline, and why is it so important to filter it so that it is our personal timeline. And if you go a few videos back, I did create a video to claim our personal timeline. As you see, I started talking a lot about utilizing and harnessing our sacred sexual life force, and how this life force creates everything in our reality. Because the more we get down to the cosmic roots and the main basic creation archetypes that compile all of creation, that we were all witnessing and experiencing, because we were the first creators of those experiences. And later, as we became these many different suits and beings, we didn't always know how to assimilate that and how we could create that in one unified being. So where my path is leading me is to guide those beings who really want to unify within the galactic perspective all of these parts, but not in terms of, now you want to become another being, you want to go somewhere else, because we've been there, we've done all of that. How to basically integrate that as a human, to embody your cosmic human nature and to be a divine human, a divine lover of life and creation. So for those of you who are now interested and called to go even deeper, I created this multidimensional ascension course, which basically links that together, our cosmic experience, but how and why this is so important now for us here on Earth, and why we as a human species, why are we so important? Why this race that is designed is so important? Because in truth, everything, all those seeds that were placed from the cosmic perspectives and different cosmic DNA lineages were eventually meant to play out, and we're playing them out now as humans. So we are like a book depository that is awakening to those cellular codes. They're within the fractal nature of the universe. They're basically light encoded DNA that's everywhere within us, all around us, but it's also our physical cellular memory. Because as you know, the light travels on all levels. So when the physical light traveled, it traveled to our physical lineages and DNA. So both are important. And we all have the soul lineage, so our soul's perspective. Then we also have our earth lineage, which is the ancestral line of who we are. And basically they're coming together, they're merging, they're fusing, and they're all from what we have planted for us on both levels, on a cosmic level through our light DNA, and what we have planted and where we're going to incarnate as humans. So basically, when we look at this, it's very mysterious, it's very mystical. But the path of the mystic will start to work with understanding of just how everything will start to click for you as you start doing not self analysis or research to that degree that would be too detrimental for you because it's too much based on the outside and one another can tell you about you, but that mystery in unraveling of yourself, like a beautiful present that you always give to yourself, to your spirit, more and more as your soul integrates, and it's getting wiser and wiser, and it's remembering more. But every gift will come through your soul. So that basic question, who are we, is so innately built within us because we have pre-planned that question for ourselves so that eventually we can wake up to all of those partial ascensions and how we can basically compile them and, enter this, what we can call the big bang where we are now, the big cosmic pop, the big overall ascension, and returning to the state, the return of innocence, the return of the understanding of why we've planned this in the first place and how are we playing it out so that we can start this new cosmic adventure and journey and experience, but as humans also here on Earth. So if you imagine it's a simultaneous unraveling, there are parts of us that are stellar parts, they're galactic parts, but they're no more or less, incorporated in this process that we call ascension and this multidimensional nature of our beingness than we are also as a human part. So a lot of people who are still in denial of the human experience are not still understanding the importance of the human experience in the greatness of all, because the human is not separate from the cosmic. You see, cosmos is all. It's just that the human experience is more distilled, it's more filtered, it's denser in those degrees. But for that nature, for that matter, is even more so important. So for those of you who have been, going through these different parts of your journey, and they kept you in this perspective that you're seeking for answers. Well, let me clarify for you that basically you're not seeking for answers. You're not trying to get it. You don't want to know more as in terms of knowledge or where you are, where you were, all these lifetimes you've been having. Everybody basically longs for integration. Everybody longs for synthesis. Everyone craves for that clarity of how all the elements and all the parts you've already played are coming together now in this cosmic convergence that I like to talk about. So if you want to go deeper, this multidimensional course is now available. It is around 4 hours long. It deals with different topics. So at first I go into introduction. I explain a little bit about the overall nature of everything that I'm about to share, that I'm sharing there. Then in the course, the main chapters are going at it from the cosmic perspective, then from the Earth's perspective. Then I talk about the importance of our ascension integration and through that higher wisdom, through that distilled awareness of what's actually happening on all the levels. And then I also talk about the ascending relationships, because relationships are very crucial points, triggers of that memory that we have also pre-planned for ourselves. And then in the end, I also provide some of the ascension exercises for those beings who really want to incorporate all that together. So if you're one of those beings who have already pursued my cosmic convergence package, or even together with the galactic signature, that's going to be fabulous now, because this is almost like a compilation of everything, but in a new way as well. So you're going to get all the bonuses from what Spirit is basically showing me about the simplicity of this journey. It's very simple. When we can synthesize it from the grand design kind of level, like the great designers, that's just bigger parts of us that can see that. But if we can activate that remembrance and unlock it here on a human level, in our human DNA, we have so much potential, and we really start to create as powerful beings on Earth. Nothing is ever seen as separate anymore. It's no longer that craving. You want information about yourself, you want knowledge on certain things that are not even necessary for you. Everything you will receive, you will receive to that synthesized unity level from your unified self, which is all those different suits and avatars and different capabilities and soul gifts. But it is for us to incorporate, to activate, and to eventually integrate through embodiment. So this is a beautiful invitation for those of you who are interested. The link is shared below, and also it's on the front page of my Serapina Light page, which is the page for what I do in terms of this galactic ascension and mastery, self-mastery, and all of that. So what I also want to share here is that, sometimes when we receive information from others, no matter what kind of specified reader or Akashic reader or, psychic channel that might be, I've witnessed this in many people, that sometimes they receive information that wasn't yet something that they're embodying, for example. So it, in the end, it ended up only triggering their ego, and you can go into this, wow, I'm this being, or ooh, I have these, whatever, I have these gifts. But you, on this human level, you're not yet there in order of you being ready or mature enough to integrate that also, so that you can become a physical expression of that. So many times searching for the outside or those answers, and wanting to find out all the great gifts you've had, or you have on another level, can a lot of times be pursued through the ego, when the path of the heart and mind, the higher mind, can merge together in that ascending pathway. That timeline, which is unified, is going to create this sacred space that you're going to invite your soul to show you what you need to know. And when you trust your soul, you know that your spirit is so grand that it would never not give you something that you would not need at a certain juncture of your journey. So when we basically pursue knowledge without maybe being capable at this moment where we are in our growth and evolution, without integrating it yet, sometimes this can be a lot of times filtered through the ego. And I've witnessed some of these resources which can tell people very grandiose things about themselves, but if it doesn't come through you, if the memory is not a physical match of your light quotient coming through and your cellular memory and meeting together, when this fusion happens, and this is when you know that you know, and it's for yourself. And a lot of people will say for others that they can read all that they want for them, but in truth, our journeys were designed as a soul coming back home. That means to the level before all this was planned, so you can remember all of that. So why would we, on this level, not know? Because we have pre-planned it anyway. It was us who created this design. And for us to pursue so much ourselves on the outside, we kind of give the power away, and we kind of take the magic away. And a lot of times, people come and they ask me if I know things about them. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell them, because I would take away the precious gem that crystallizes within you once you remember something, once you know. And I know this because I was going at it through my own journey, and when something crystallized within me, it was something so precious. I would never let someone else take that gift away from me in that matter. And usually when I got answers on the outside, they were just confirmations to what I already knew. It was nothing new, basically. So when we live our life that way, it's going to be easier for us. We're going to create much more flow. We're going to create much more distilled wisdom, instead of pursuing something from our ego, which still wants to hear things because it likes to hear certain things. Everybody would like to have a great boost about ourselves, but from the ego perspective. But from the perspective of our unity, we know that the cohesive unit that we are is going to always know what to bring us and what perfect divine timing, meet us with the right people, all of those things. So I encourage you to pursue that path. And everything that I shared in this course is just a higher perspective that helps you be more open to that, so that you also can activate that complete trust and seeing ascension from the much greater perspective than we ever thought, that we ever imagined it to be. Because I know there's books and bits and pieces of this galactic information everywhere, but we're the ones who are remembering and putting it all together. So we are the one who can unify. We were always the one, and it starts with us and our inner divine remembrance within. So because we can't really teach those things, these are cosmic sparkles of wisdom that can only come from within. We can only guide, and we can provide those guidelines that we were given ourselves when something crystallized. And we cannot do that if something is not yet fully crystallized within us. So even with all of my work and all of my courses, I don't rush into things. I let things, they need to unfold in a perfect way. They need to come together in that synthesized way. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope this will be like a calling to move more deeper into trusting your soul and its nature on every level, from cosmic to human, and to trust that it always delivers what you need in this very perfect timeline where you are now. So go to my Multidimensional Ascension course page. Again, the link is down below. I will see you very soon in the next video update, but for now, this is it. Thank you so much for those of you guiding into that perspective of the unified heart as well. I know there's a lot of you Ascension Pioneers who understand why this is so important, why it's so important to no longer be guided so much taught from without, but to really know the guidance of the heart through the wisdom. And the wisdom is the realm of pure love, and love knows its way. So thank you also for watching, sharing, whatever, subscribing. It's so weird saying that. I don't know. Somehow supporting, either way, donating. Thank you so much. My love, as always, is devoted to higher wisdom, to the truth of illumination, and that is why I always stay devoted to in the first place. And I welcome you to this joint union into the white light of brotherhood, from which we all originally, from which everything sprang for. So that's it for today, and stay magical as you are, and witnessing that blossoming magic that is evermore coming into our lives and being created for us, by us, through us. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Welcome into